All right, let's get right into it. Welcome to another episode of the Life Mastery. And today we're going to be discussing about the importance of optimizing the first hour of your day and the last hour of the day. I call these two times the morning mastery and the night mastery. If you can get these down, then your entire day will be fucking solid. And the reason I say this is because I've had experience with it myself. When I do follow my morning and night mastery routines, then my entire day is pretty fucking solid for the most part. There's only so much that we can control. But the days that I fail to follow these mastery routines are the days that I just don't really get much done. I'm not very productive. My energy is usually pretty low. So speaking from experience, I know that these will be extremely helpful for you if you're able to implement them in your life. Now, both of these routines, the morning mastery and the night mastery, are very similar, as in the fact that they both focus on mind, body, spirit. So you'll be doing something for the first hour of the day to master your mind, body, and spirit and optimize those different areas of your life. And at nighttime, you'll also be doing something to optimize the mind, body, and spirit areas of your life. Now, they're slightly different in the morning and at night, but overall, they're going to help you maximize your potential and help you become the best version of yourself. Now, the very first thing I want to point out is that you will not be using your phone the very first hour of your day and the very last hour of the day. That is the most critical point of this morning mastery and night mastery. So no phone for the first hour or the last hour. So what happens is when we wake up in the morning and the first thing we do is start scrolling through our phone, we are getting these cheap dopamine hits and we are setting ourselves up for failure. We're setting our brain up to constantly seek these dopamine hits throughout the day, which means we're most likely not going to be very productive. We're just going to be chasing these cheap dopamine hits that we get through things like social media. So that's why it's very critical to stay off of your phone in the morning. And then the same thing at night. If we don't use our phone for the last hour of the day, then we have a higher chance of getting more quality sleep. We have a higher chance of getting into that REM sleep, which is what we really need in order to optimize our sleep. And getting high quality sleep is probably the most important thing that you can do for your overall health and well-being. But considering that you're here watching this video, I'm going to assume that you already know to not use your phone. And I'm going to assume that you're already not using your phone for the first hour of the day and the last hour of the day. So with that out of the way, I want to dive into the things that you want to actually implement in the morning for the morning mastery and at night for the night mastery. So with the morning mastery, the very first thing you want to do is just get up. Don't hit the snooze button. Don't do any of that crap. Just get up out of bed. And the easiest way to do this is to put your phone or your alarm somewhere that you have to get up. So me personally, I have two different alarms. I have a digital alarm in my room, which is set to go off at 5:30. And then I have my phone in the bathroom where it's charging overnight. That's set to go off at 5:31. So when my first alarm goes off, boom, I'm up. I go and turn that off. I go into the bathroom, I do my business, and then by that time, my phone goes off and I turn that off. Now, on top of the phone, I have a sticky note. And this is going to be different for everybody. But essentially, what you want on the sticky note is your very first task of the day. So for me, I put a sticky note on top of my phone that says 50 burpees. This is just a mental reminder that, hey, once I turn off this alarm, what I need to do is just hit the floor, start doing burpees. And that leads me to the very first part of the day, the very first part of this hour. This is when you want to focus on either the mind, body, or spirit. Now, I'm not going to tell you the exact order that you need to do these in because it's different for everybody. Even for the same person, it varies on the season that you're in the moment. So for me, sometimes what I first like to do is just sit and meditate for the first 20 minutes of the day. But where I'm at in my life right now, the very first thing I want to do is exercise and get my blood pumping, get my heart rate going. So like I said, it varies from person to person. I urge you to try it out and see what works best for you. And if you find something that works for you for a few months, and then after that it stops working for some reason, you just got to switch it up. You just got to either put mind, body, or spirit first and change up the order. But I promise if you focus on all three, then you're going to have an amazing day for the most part. Sometimes there are things that are out of our control, but realistically, if you focus on these three pillars of life, then you can bet that your day is going to be better than if you didn't. So once I get up and I turn off the alarm and I see that sticky that says 50 burpees, I just go and I hit 50 burpees. Yes, it's hard, but that's the whole fucking point. Now, by the end of these 50 burpees, I'm pretty tired. Sometimes I'm sweating and my breath is very fast. So this gets my heart rate going and I'm already awake for the day, which makes it very convenient for me since lately I've been having issues with waking up in the morning and just feeling groggy and tired all the time. So doing these burpees really gets me awake and gets me going. So now while I'm in the state of this heavy and fast breathing, I sit down and I slow my breath down. I do this for two reasons. One is to obviously calm down my nervous system and to really get into a meditative state. And then the second reason is because what happens is if I'm breathing really fast and very shallow and I sit down and I slow down my breath, I'm showing my mind and my body that I'm the one that's in control. I'm the one that controls this vessel.
Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
So showing my mind and my body this early on in the morning that I'm in control and I'm able to slow down my heart rate and slow down my breath really sets me up for success for the entire day. It really puts me in control. It puts me in the driver's seat where I'm able to control the steering wheel of my life. So after I slow down my breath, I'll just sit down and do a silent meditation for about 15 to 20 minutes. Sometimes I'll just put on a timer on my phone. I know I said no phone use, but the point is don't scroll on your phone. Don't do things on your phone. But if you need to use it for things like playing audio, which I'll talk about in a little bit, or if you just need to use it for a timer like I do, just go on the timer, set the timer, and then I just do a silent meditation. And then once the timer goes off, I'll get up, and then this leads me into my next thing. So the first is the body, which was some form of exercise. Now you don't have to do burpees. You can just do jumping jacks. You can go for a run. You can do some push-ups, or you can do burpees like I do. Or you can just go to the gym if you really want to. It's really up to you. The point is to get your heart rate going. So the second thing was the spirit, which for me sometimes happens to be meditation, sometimes happens to be breath work. And then once I'm done with either the meditation or the breath work, I'll go into my morning pages, which is something I got from the book, The Artist's Way, which I highly recommend for anybody. Basically, this is just a stream of consciousness writing. You just write down whatever comes to your mind. You just put your thoughts on paper. So I'll either do the meditation or breath work, followed by the morning pages. And typically what I like to do is make some tea for myself in the morning and then start writing the morning pages. The tea kind of acts as a reward for the exercise I already did and the meditation or breath work that I already did. So while I'm writing my morning pages, I'm sipping on my tea. And that leads me into the third pillar of life, which in this case for me happens to be mind. So again, it doesn't matter what order you do it in, find what works best for you. This is what's currently working best for me. So the third pillar of mind is you want to get some kind of knowledge. Now, this could be a variety of things. You could either read a book, you can listen to a podcast or an audiobook, or you can even watch a YouTube video, but make sure it's educational. Make sure it's something that you can learn. And the way that I personally do this is once I'm done with my morning pages, the next step in my morning routine is making myself breakfast, a protein shake for after the gym, and then also lunch for the day. So while I'm making breakfast and the smoothie and lunch, I'm playing a podcast in the background. Sometimes it's an audiobook, but sometimes it's a podcast. It just really depends. If I'm listening to an audiobook, I'll play an audiobook. If I'm listening to a podcast, then I'll play a podcast. So it really depends, but I always make sure that it's some kind of educational content. And that's pretty much it for the morning. The last thing I do is take a cold shower and then I'm out of the door. I go to the fucking gym and I put in the fucking work. So technically I'm getting 2 workouts during the day. One is in the morning, the 50 burpees, and then one is after all of my morning routine stuff, which is the actual gym. I like to lift heavy shit. I like to go to the gym. So mind, body, spirit, first hour of the day, no phone. Mind, do something that will give you more knowledge, something that is educational. Body, do some form of exercise. I don't give a fuck what kind of exercise you do. Just do some exercise. You can do whatever you want, man. It's up to you. It's your life. You do whatever the fuck you want. But it's extremely important to optimize your morning by implementing these mind, body, spirit pillars in your life. And then spirit is some form of meditation or some form of journaling, reflecting, whatever it is that you want to do. Focus on having a silent moment in your morning. Focus on spending time by yourself with your thoughts. Again, that could be with meditation, that could be with breath work, and that could be with journaling. So it's really up to you. Again, it's your life. You do whatever the fuck you want, but optimize your morning by implementing mind, body, spirit exercises into your life. So if you just implement this, your entire day will be pretty fucking good for the most part, outside of the things that we can't control. But in order to optimize your morning routine, it actually starts the night before. And that's where the night mastery comes into play. I know I mentioned the morning first. Well, obviously that's because the morning is when the day starts and then the night is when the day ends. But realistically, the night before will set up your morning. So if you want to optimize your morning routine, then it starts the night before. And that is where night mastery comes in. So again, we're focusing on mind, body, spirit. We're focusing on this 2 times a day, once in the morning and once at night. Now, at nighttime, it's slightly different, but you still don't want to touch your phone for the last hour of the day. You want to minimize technology and minimize lights for the last hour of the day. And we do this because we want to promote melatonin production in the brain. And melatonin is basically a way of signaling your body that it's time to go to sleep. Back in the day, this would happen as the sun was going down when we had no technology. Our brains would naturally produce melatonin when the sun started setting, letting our bodies know that, hey, it's time to go to sleep. But now with today's technology and all the LED lights and all this stuff, the melatonin production really gets disrupted. So what we have to do is we have to try to optimize for this. And the best way to optimize for this is to obviously don't use your phone, but don't use any other electronics either. Turn off the TV, turn off your laptop, turn off the lights if you can, get a salt lamp like I have, and just use that for lighting. And this will help trigger your brain to start producing melatonin, which will help you sleep better. And the night mastery is all about the winding down period. What we want to do is we want to wind down from all the stresses and bullshit that we went through during the day. So this is our moment to really relax and detach from the entire day and get ready for sleep. Now, again, mind, body, spirit. It doesn't matter what order you do it in, see what works best for you, but this is how I currently do it. First, I focus on the spirit. Now, for me right now, what focusing on the spirit means in my night mastery routine is reflecting on the day. So I do an end of day review. I sit down and I journal on how my day went, what went well, what didn't go well, and what I'm going to do tomorrow to improve. Then I plan the following day. I plan pretty much the perfect day tomorrow and how I want that to unfold. So sometimes it doesn't go as planned, but that's okay. At least I have a vision and a purpose and a path that I want to take tomorrow. Now, obviously things are going to throw us off the path, but I know where I'm going. I know what I want to do tomorrow. And this also allows my brain to start working on this while I'm sleeping. It gives the brain something to focus on while you're sleeping, and it helps you optimize the next day. And then the third part of the spirit, so it's reflection, planning, and then prepping. What I like to do is I like to prep for the next day. And usually what this means for me is just setting my environment up for success and getting my clothes laid out for tomorrow. And the reason I do this is because of something called decision fatigue. I want to optimize my life as much as possible, and decision fatigue is a very real thing. What happens is the more decisions that we make throughout the day, the less likely that we're going to make good decisions. So if I can minimize this in any way, if I can minimize me having to make decisions the following day, then it's going to be better for me. And I do this by preparing my clothes the night before. So something as simple as choosing what to wear is very easy for me to do at night. It's also very easy to do in the morning, but I want to minimize the decisions I make in the morning. So regardless of how big the decision is, if I'm making a decision in the morning, then I'm tapping into that decision fatigue. I'm tapping into that decision reservoir that I have. So something as simple as choosing clothes the night before will help me minimize on the amount of decisions that I have to make during the day. And also if I'm planning tomorrow the night before, it allows me to minimize the amount of decisions I have to make. I don't have to think about what do I need to do today? What do I need to do right now? I simply write down what my plan is the night before, and I just follow that. I don't have to make any decisions around what I'm going to do today. I simply just look at the list I laid out the night before and I just follow it. And that pretty much takes care of the spirit side. Then what I like to do is I like to move into the body pillar. And for me, this usually means some form of stretching or some yoga, and typically includes a little bit of bioenergetics. So I'll do some stretching, yoga, or bioenergetics. And I also have a acupressure mat that I typically like to lay on for 10 to 15 minutes, just because it allows my body to relax. So when you stretch and you do yoga, it's more so about relaxing the body, relaxing the muscles in your body to get you prepared for a restful night's sleep. So I wouldn't recommend doing anything that gets your heart rate going. You want to do things that slow your heart rate. You want to do things where you can breathe slowly and really start to relax the muscles. So stretching is extremely good for this, but so is yoga, so is the acupressure mat, and so is bioenergetics. So it's up to you to figure out what works best for you. Start with stretching, spend 10, 15, 20 minutes stretching. There are plenty of follow along videos on YouTube, so I don't want to hear any fucking excuses. I don't know what to do. You know what to do. If you don't know what to do, go on fucking YouTube, go on Google, figure it out, man. Figure this shit out. It's not that fucking complicated. I'm literally giving you the secret to a great morning and a great night, which leads into a great day, which leads into a great fucking life. Morning mastery, night mastery leads into perfect day mastery, leads into life mastery. That's pretty much what it is, and that's how it goes. I'm not here to give you the fucking little details and tell you you have to do this, you have to do that. I don't give a fuck what you do, bro. Focus on mind, body, spirit if you want to optimize your life. I'm not here to fucking babysit you. I'm not here to fucking hold your hand. I'm not here to fucking lead you along this path of doing all this shit. You have to take full fucking responsibility for your life. I'm just here to guide you along the way. I'm not going to say you have to do this, you have to do that. I'm simply going to guide you along the way and share what works for me, in hopes that you'll finally fucking figure it out. You'll drop all your fucking vices. You'll drop all your fucking bad habits, like scrolling the very first fucking minute you get up out of bed. I'm here to guide you along the path to drop all your fucking vices and embody a life of mastery. And the way you do that is by focusing on mind, body, spirit in the morning, mind, body, spirit at night. The exact details don't fucking matter. Focus on mind, body, spirit. Whatever that fucking means to you, man. Do some form of exercise. Do some form of meditation and get some fucking knowledge. It's literally that simple. So the last thing that I want to do for night mastery is focus on the mind. And again, this comes down to getting some form of knowledge. The last 15 to 20 minutes of my day before I go to sleep, I'll just lay in bed and I'll read a book with minimal lighting. I just have my salt lamp, which is right on my nightstand. I'll read a book for 15 to 20 minutes about whatever I'm interested in. And then as I'm done, I'll turn off the light and I'll go to sleep. It's that fucking simple. Mind, body, spirit. Morning mastery, night mastery, life mastery. Now, that's all I got for you today, man. I hope that was fucking beneficial for you. I hope you do something with your life. I hope that you take what I've just talked about and implement at least some of this stuff into your life. If anything, implement the no phone first hour or last hour of the day. Highly recommend implementing everything that I've just mentioned because it's been extremely beneficial for me in my life. And I notice when I follow the morning mastery and night mastery, my entire day is really fucking good. And if I don't follow the morning and night mastery routines, then I'm typically not as productive. I'm not as focused. My energy is just at a lower frequency. So take whatever you can out of this episode. If you feel like there's somebody that can benefit from what I've mentioned in this episode, feel free to share it with them. And if there is anything that you think I've missed or anything that you do that you think would be beneficial for me, leave a comment down below, man. Let me know. I'm always interested in learning. I'm a lifelong learner. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.